The Imperial Guard is as infinite in its variety as the Imperium itself, and the war zones across which it fights are as numerous as the stars in the sky. 10,000 standard years of war on such a scale has seen enough valiant heroes pass into darkness that no memorial could successfully commemorate their loss. But the archives of Terra overflow with regiments whose contribution to the Imperial Guard has been considered worthy of permanent record. In the years following the Horus heresy, the newly raised regiments of the Astra Militarum were eager to prove their loyalty. Such zealous dedication was coupled with a burning desire for revenge against those who had turned traitor, leading many loyalist regiments to perform great and glorious deeds. Today, in the Imperium's darkest hour, there are regiments who stand above all others in the selfless valor of their deeds. Let's see them. First, with the Armageddon Steel Legion. Armageddon is a hive world of the Segmentum Solar. True to its name, Armageddon has been the site of 3 apocalyptic battles between the Imperium and its enemies, most recently a pair of invasions by the Orc warlord Gaskal Fraka. The Imperial Guard regiments raised from Armageddon are highly skilled in combat against greenskins, and its soldiers are siege experts and masters of attrition. Commissar Yarek is the best known hero of the Steel Legion, and he is greatly feared by the Orcs for having ripped off an Orc war boss's power claw with his bare hands, hence the fact that Yarek is the only human Gaskal Mag Uruk Thraka respects. Now with the Cadian shock troops. The regiments of the Cadian shock troops of the Imperial Guard are famous throughout the galaxy for constantly proving themselves in the arena of battle. Their leader was the Lord Castellan, the position held by Osarka E. Creed, the currently missing hero of the battle for Cadia during the 13th Black Crusade. Cadian regiments are highly disciplined, make excellent shots, and use elite troops called Catachan to lead their attacks. Such is the reputation of the Cadian shock troops that many other regiments mimic their appearance and equipment, although their doctrines may differ. Catachan jungle fighters are among some of the deadliest experts on jungle warfare in the entire galaxy. They make use of many close combat weapons, including the Catachan Fang, a knife measuring up to 20 inches of gleaming steel, which is the most common melee weapon. They also make extensive use of traps, mines, and other unpleasant surprises such as spring mines, shredder mines, and plasma charges. They do not use any armored vehicles, save for the Sentinel Walker, which is modified for jungle warfare. Catachan jungle fighters closely resemble members of the United States Army and Marine Corps during the Vietnam War. And now with the Death Corps of Krieg. The Death World of Krieg in the Segmentum Tempestus was the site of a rebellion against the Imperium of Man in the 40th millennium, and was bombarded by nuclear weapons, followed by 500 standard years of grinding warfare to purge the heretical rebels. The Death Corps of Krieg are siege specialists, and those regiments raised on Krieg seek to repent for their former treachery against the Imperium by displaying a disturbing disregard for their own lives in combat. Death Corps troops excel at wars of attrition and defensive combat in particular. They bear a strong resemblance to the real-world Imperial German army in World War I, in tactics, trench warfare, as well as appearance. The Elysian drop troops are the premier airborne assault infantry regiments of the Astra Militarum, who are recruited from the verdant world of Elysia in the Segmentum Solar, 30 light years from the world of Armageddon. The Elysian drop troops regiments make extensive use of aircraft and elite soldiers plunging from the skies directly into battle. These regiments' true advantage lies in their speed, unpredictability, and the unrivaled ability to attack anywhere on the battlefield at any time. Elysian drop troops do not engage the enemy in a conventional stand-up fight. Instead, they seek to take objectives by rapid, hard-hitting attacks and then hold them with grim determination and the selective targeting of enemy threats. The Harakoni Warhawks are raised up from the Imperial world of Harakon, a low-gravity planet with tall hive cities. The Harakoni use grav gliders to hunt vapor worms in the valleys below their hives. This makes them fearless of altitudes and great at judging air currents. The Harakoni wear carapace armor, use rebreathers during a planetary drop to to breathe in the ultra-thin atmosphere at high altitudes. Many an Imperial general or war master owes their decorations to the bravery and experience of the regiments drawn from the Harakoni Warhawks. The Mordian Iron Guard are the Imperial Guard that hail from the hive world of Mordian. In battle, these highly disciplined soldiers present perfectly formed ranks of troops to the enemy, unleashing precisely timed volleys of lace fire from behind a hedge of bayonet points. Some enemies of the Emperor have been misled by the Mordians' elaborate and ornate uniforms to believe they were facing amateurs, only to find the bright uniforms contain tough, steely-eyed and implacable warriors of the Imperium. They bear a slight resemblance to the real-world Prussian army under Chancellor Otto von Bismarck in the late 19th century. The Praetorian Guard. Imperial Guard regiments raised on Praetoria, known as the Praetorian Guard, are renowned for their iron discipline, by-the-book drilling, and unshakable bravery, even in the face of the most overwhelming odds. The Praetorians were introduced following the Games Workshop Games Day display massacre at Big Tooth River, where a substantial Imperial Guard force was annihilated by an enormous orc horde. Despite this crippling loss, the Praetorians fought back at the last stand at Glazer's Creek, where they, supported by local militia and allied rattlings, fought off a rampaging orc horde. The Praetorians are based on British colonial soldiers typical of those found in Africa during the late 19th century. The Imperial Guard regiments known as the Tanith First-and-Only, officially called the Tanith First Regiment but better known as Gaunt's Ghosts, is a regiment that was raised from the world of Tanith in the Sabbath World sector. The regiment's nickname originally came about as a result of the name of their commanding officer, Colonel Commissar Abraham Gaunt, and the disenfranchised status of the original Tanith soldiers after their homeworld was destroyed. Only about 3,000 troops were rescued from the planet by Colonel Commissar Gaunt before it was destroyed. The regiment as a whole is also noted for its uncanny skill at stealth and reconnaissance missions. A second Commissar, Commissar Hawk, eventually joined the unit under Gaunt's command. The Tallarn Desert Raiders are exceptional at guerrilla-style warfare, having adapted to the harsh conditions of their home planet. They are highly skilled at desert and mobile armored warfare. They are especially known for their lightning-quick sentinel and hard-hitting tank squadrons, and are masters of hit-and-run mobile warfare. They love to strike a killing blow at the heart of an enemy formation before returning to their own lines, prepared to pounce once more. Once the enemy is sighted, the Tallarn will stalk them closely, relying on their practiced marksmanship and lightning-quick curved combat knives to achieve victory. Tallarn Desert Raiders have a slightly Arab-like appearance, but influences have also been taken from other real-world sources such as the North African campaigns of World War II. The Terrax Guard are the elite regiments of the Imperial Guard raised on the world of Terrax, the site of a major Schola Progenium facility, the Schola Excapitos. The Schola Progenium train many Imperial agents for war, most notably the elite stormtroopers and commissars, and their methods are rigorous and effective. The tithed regiments raised on Terrax have been trained under the Schola Excapitos and are truly molded in its image, almost as an entire regiment of commissars. Valhallan Ice Warriors hail from Valhalla, which was a verdant paradise world until it was hit by a comet consisting of pure iron, which impacted the northern continent, creating vast plumes of dust which proceeded to cover the planet in a blanket of dirt and altering the planet's orbit, changing the planet to an icy wasteland, the most well-known of the Imperium's ice walls. To make matters worse, a damaged orc war fleet descended on the planet and proceeded to fight the Valhallans for the precious food they had stored. Eventually they destroyed the orcs by using ice-pouring machines to strategically strike at the heart of the green skin mob, burning and melting most of the orcs and scattering the rest. Regiments of Valhallan Ice Warriors have been assigned to planets infested with orcs due to their intimate knowledge of orc tactics. Valhallan Ice Warriors resemble the real-world Soviet Red Army during World War II in both their capabilities fighting in extreme low-temperature conditions and their sheer durability and tenacity. Famously, the Commissar Kaifes Kane served with the Valhallan 597th Regiment. And finally with the Vostroyan Firstborn, the regiments of the Imperial Guard that originate from the industrial hive world of Vostroya located near the Halo stars. The Vostroyan regiments have served the Emperor for countless centuries, though in truth they fight to absolve themselves of a terrible shame incurred by their ancestors during the Horus heresy, when Vostroya refused to send forth troops in the defense of the throne world, claiming that it would be better to manufacture weapons for the Imperium, but was met with an uncommon mercy by the Imperium once the heresy had ended. For this mercy, they promised to provide the firstborn son of every Vostroyan family to the service of the Imperial Guard. The Vostroyans first came to prominence during the fall of Medusa V in 999 M41. The Vostroyans' carapace armor is mildly based on the armor worn by the Russian Cossacks, and the Vostroyan culture itself is inspired by that of the 19th century Russian Empire. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this, then surely you will enjoy this video explaining every Primarch weapon. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for more.